All right, and we is live. We're gonna finish off where we're gonna start where we finished off last time, and I'm gonna welcome Marvin to the broadcast. Finish
What's
telling
going
that
on,
story.
everybody?
Yeah. So man, yeah, just hop on in, man. I know some stuff you kind of you try to get so much covered in last time. You was kind of skipping
hmm
over some stuff. So kind of if you want to, you can kind of do a little recap and then kind of progress on. And if I have any questions,
Okay.
I'll ask some more. So yeah,
Yeah,
go
go
ahead, dig
ahead.
into it,
Go
man.
go go ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into it. Well, I mean, last time when I went, I was talking about my life as a Jehovah Witness and the things that I've been through, like that. And I think I kind of talked about the reason as to why I got this fellowship. And basically, in a sense, it was kind of like me. I got this fellowship for telling the truth, in a sense. Like one of the things that they always tell you is that make sure that you be truthful when you're facing the so-called brothers and the elders. You know what I'm saying? When they have you in the back room, that's Jehovah has an agent, or Jehovah's actually sitting there and watching you, in a sense. And so that I got this fellowship basically for telling the truth about what had happened, about everything, for making my slate clean in front of Jehovah, so to say. So you know I one of the things that deterred me from Watchtower was, well, a lot of the things I should say, but one of the things was the situation with me and wanting to play basketball. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the things that kind of played a role in me wanting to come out of the organization and stuff. I think, Jumanji, I want to mention this to your audience. I want them to know that I remember the time that I think I was in the ninth grade at this time, and it was basically like I wanted to really play on the team, and I wrote my dad a letter. I wrote him a letter, and I had a plan. I planned how I was gonna make my meetings, how I was going to, you know, still be favorable in the eyes of the brothers and the eyes of Jehovah and everything like that, and still do my extracurricular activity, still do my basketball thing and everything like that. So my dad, he panics, so to say, and he gives the letter to my grandfather, and then he gives the letter to the brothers. So he didn't really know how to really tackle that. So then that's when I think one of the brothers that was kind of like my mentor, kind of like, you know, he asked it, you want to play basketball for the team? Jehovah, won't approve of that, and stuff like that. Just give me the whole lecture. I can't remember word for it, but it was on the basis of that. And so then that's when I told them, I said no, and everything. So the next thing I know, I get a part on the what's that? What I cannot remember some of that stuff. When they have the local needs, what's that called? I think it's called a service meeting or something like that. I believe it's what it's called. The service meeting. I think. And so then that's when that's when they had me. They gave me a part on a service meeting. It was basically something about um something on the terms of overcoming obstacles that may be in our way. Youth overcoming obstacles. You know what I'm saying? When you're young. So on the terms of that. And so then I had to
Oh,
sit
they
up there and,
oh, so they had local needs on you.
in a sense, yeah. In a sense,
Oh
yeah.
shit.
And it was, and it kind of they kind of worked it in with something about youth overcoming extracurricular activities and things of that nature. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Yeah. So I had to basically get up there and just talk about my whole experience and basically lie to myself about how I overcome the want to participate in extracurricular activities. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was one of the most detrimental things I did to myself, because it's like I always struggle, and I said this in part one. Yeah, sir. Yeah, TW said, yeah, serves me. Yeah, but I always struggled, with that, with freedom, so to say, within Watchtower and everything like that. So I guess in part two, we can go ahead and jump to, because we already said that, when I moved out from my parents' house and got married and everything like that. But I want to mainly focus on the waking up process in this part two, because that's one of the things that I feel is the most important. You know,
All right.
um,
Yeah.
this is how it
What you
happened,
do?
man.
Oh,
What you
you do.
say?
What? Oh, I was gonna say, what's going on, TW? He said, the back room is creepy. Yeah. Don't. If you could do anything, stay out that back room. Do not
Yeah,
go in
that
that
back
back room,
room,
man.
man. That
Yeah,
back room, man.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Look,
Uh-huh.
man. When I was going through growing up, all throughout Watchtower, I just remember like my mom always talk about the back room. Oh yeah, so and so had to get taken to the back room, and I'm just thinking like, what is back there, man? I remember
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
always
What's back
think, wonder
there?
what is back there? What is in the back room? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's kind of
Was the
like
boogeyman?
yeah, yeah. You ever seen Life with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He said he might find the upper room when Jesus. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah, man. I used to always wonder like, what in the world is back there? Like, what happens back there? You know what I'm saying? Then when
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
back in there, that's when I'm like, dang, this was it.
Hey,
But
whatever happens in the
yeah,
back room stays in the back room, man.
yeah, man. And you know what, man? I kind of hate that I went to the back room without the information that I have now, without the knowledge. You
Hmm.
know, it's kind of like this. When you're a when you're a JW, you think that you know so much, but yet and still you know so little. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? You know,
Yep.
Jehovah's Witnesses think that they have it all together, like they really do have this hubris knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They think that they are above the scholars. They think they're above the scholars that work at Tel Aviv University. They totally
Hmm.
disregard any kind of scholarship from people that actually devoted their whole entire lives to the
Hmm.
Bible, like they really do. Like for
Yeah.
one, these people are getting a paycheck for
Uh-huh.
for doing archaeological digs, and you
Yeah.
necessarily think that you know more than them? Like, come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let's get into my waking up process. It's kind of funny, man.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say waking up, I don't mean that, I hate the terminology of being woke. I really do hate it. But when I mean waking up, I mean, realizing that it was more like me, myself, realizing that there's always more to know. I don't really act like that I know more than you, Jumanji. I don't act like we have someone in the comment section, TW. I don't act like I know more than you. I don't claim to be totally like woke, so to say, because there's always more to know. I could be
Yeah.
asleep as I don't know what in something, within anything. I could be asleep financially. I could be asleep in everything. So nobody is truly woke, you know.
Exactly.
So it was kind of like this. I think I had a grandmother, my dad's mom, I should say. And the thing about it was like this. I didn't really have a good relationship with her. She was a Jehovah's Witness, yes. And remember I talked about my wedding and that one JW that came there, that my aunt, this is her mom. This is my grandmother. And so then the
Uh-huh.
thing about my grandmother was this. She tried that shunning bull crap. She tried it. But what ended up happening was that I think they said the turning point. My aunt told me that she said the turning point for my grandmother was when one time you know how you go to the store and you don't expect to see a family member or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened
Yeah.
was she goes to the store, and so then they end up right behind each other in line. And so then my grandmother, she didn't say anything to her own daughter. She didn't say nothing to her. And this is what my aunt told me. She said she didn't say anything to me. And so then
Mm.
she said she just noticed, like, after that, she just started talking to her. She stopped the shunning, for instance, and she started really investing herself into her grandkids on that side. And I'm not really too, but it needs to be said because I'm like this right now. Gloves are off, okay. So it's like
Mm.
I didn't really have a relationship with my grandmother, with my Jehovah's grandmother, really in depth like that,
Yeah.
because I've later found that my parents didn't really like that she was still comfortable with her daughter being disfellowship. What my aunt is fellowship.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? My parents did not really like her doing that. So when I got older, I started playing. Me, when it came to playing basketball, I started playing in little city leagues around the way and everything like that. So when I would have, there was this one league that I was playing in, it was a summer league that I was playing in, and the games were held out of this gym, Mayo High School in Darlington, South Carolina. And so that I used to go to her house. So, and I'm this fellowship. She used to take me in. She didn't shun me. Yeah, but she didn't say that, no, you can't come here because you're fellowship. But she's, yeah, at that place, she used to come in there and everything like that. So She found that she had some health issues and she ended up passing away. And I really felt something from that, because here it is. I had a relationship with her, even though I didn't have one really with her growing up. A lot of times, I mean, we still went over to her house, but um, it wasn't like we spent a lot of time over there. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, when she had passed away and everything like that, and she was able to meet my wife and stuff like that. But when she passed away, had to go to her funeral. This is the first time I went to a Kingdom Hall in like 3 years after being this fellowship.
Hmm.
Now everybody knows my family down in South Carolina, and that whole area, Florence, Darlington, everybody knows my family. So I had to actually face one of the brothers that one of the elders that played a part in my disfellowshipping. He was there. And so then I'm sitting up there, my first grandparent first grandparent from the Jehovah Witness side that passed away and everything, and my first family JW funeral. And I mean, I just want to touch on that, man. Jehovah Witness funerals, and I did a YouTube video on this. Jehovah Witness funerals are some of the worst. It's one of the worst things a person can have. The worst types of funeral a person can have, because it seems as though like it's more like a propaganda speech. They don't honor anything, none of the person's achievements in life. Everything is centered so much around Watchtower, and I just feel
Yeah.
as though like yeah, that's just one of the
That's right.
most sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they only call it a memorial, but it's really not a memorial. It's a public talk. If you think about it, it's a
Yeah,
public talk, not a memorial, because
yeah.
nothing about it's like what 5 minutes about that person, how spiritual he
Hmm.
was, and that's about it.
Yeah. At my grandfather's funeral, they actually had them giving comments.
Oh yeah.
Didn't hear nothing from really the family. They had friends giving comments about how he was in service with my grandfather. It is. I know I kind of
Uh,
jumped a little bit, but for my grandfather, they actually had them giving comments. But at this funeral, I'm gonna stay on that one. But at this funeral, my grandmother's funeral, they just talk. They didn't talk about nothing about how she was one of the first nurses in her area, first black nurses. They didn't talk about nothing about that. It was solely centered on what she did for the cult.
yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I feel she was a whole lot more than that.
More
You
than
know what
that.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
whole
Is
lot
it?
more. They didn't talk about how she liked Moscato, how she loved drinking her Moscato, man. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
but see, here's a funny thing though. A lot of them don't even know. The only thing they know about you is what you do for Jehovah. A lot of witnesses don't really know a lot of personal stuff about you because they don't really
Hmm.
hang out with you unless you're really close. The elders don't know.
Yeah,
The elders know too much about you. All they know about is what you did in the service. They don't know what you like, what your favorite stuff is. I mean, elders don't really kick it with you like that. Elders hang out with each other, so you can't really say anything. Let me tell you a experience of a funeral that it was a guy that I'll let you get back, but I want to
no,
tell
you
you
good, you
about this
good. Go
this
ahead.
memorial thing. It was an elder I was studying with, and one guy he died. He was his wife. I'm trying to think how it go. Anyway, he wasn't a witness, right? Well, how did it go? Anyway, his family wasn't witnesses,
Hmm.
so he was the only one there. So the elder that was going to give the talk at the memorial, the family came to the memorial, and one of the little boys asked the elder, "I have a letter. Can I read this at in front of the thing?" And the elder
Yeah.
said, son, I don't think that's a good idea." Um,
Wow.
and I'm like, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to put a bad taste in these unbelievers, these worldly people's minds, that
Hmm.
he can't even give a speak at somebody who he can't even read something off at this
Yeah.
man's thing. So the elder said when they were somewhere, he looked out the window and the boy was reading the letter to all the family. So he got to read it to the family, but it's like, wow, that's the thing y'all put in people's mind when they come to Kingdom Hall, that we love him, but you're
Yeah.
not gonna let this family speak. You don't even know the cat, you don't even know the dude, but you speaking, but you're not gonna let family speak up there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I said before, like it does a disservice to the person's legacy. Like, I'm so happy that I'm no longer in, because I don't want myself to be remembered just as Jehovah Witness. I want myself to be remembered as a person that coached AAU, that really looked out for the kids, that always thought for the best of his community. You know what I'm saying? I want to be remembered like that. What I did for people, other than hand out some doggone magazines and stuff like that. I want people to get up and make people laugh, tell funny stories about funny stuff that I did, because my life is more than just my religion,
Well,
man. You know what I'm
well,
saying? In
yeah, I
actuality,
mean,
your life, yeah.
yeah. I'm not saying everybody got their own fingerprint. I mean, if you just known for doing something everybody else was doing, what makes you an individual?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And so then, okay, so I go into back to the funeral. So you know what I'm saying? I'm already on edge, man, because it's like, for one, this is a period of time that I was really going through something, because I'm still having these after effects of Watchtower. I knew I didn't want really. Well, I really wasn't thinking about anything, you know what I'm saying? I just knew that there was a problem, but I couldn't really put my finger on it. Like, I'm having these issues. And I mean, it was affecting my marriage a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I'm having these problems, you know what I'm saying? It didn't cause me to be like abusive toward my wife, nothing like that, but it's like I was always depressed. I was going through a series of depression and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
just anxiety, and I couldn't lay a finger on it. And so then I have to go to this funeral now. And I mean, I didn't have to go, but you know what I'm saying? I had a good relationship with my grandmother, because she still took us in. She still took me and my wife in, and we was able to see her. She was able to see my oldest daughter. My oldest daughter, spent some time around her and everything like that. Shoot, one time, man, she used to give her a little bit of Moscato. You know what I'm saying? And then we was like, no, grandma, don't give it. She said, no. So y'all just, she was like, y'all just shut up. She can have a little bit of Moscato. It ain't gonna kill her. That's what she was telling. That's what she was telling. Now this is coming from a JW. This is how she was. She was cool. Like
Uh-huh.
my of all the family members, like my wife was the closest to her, and that's why I was like, look, I really do need to be at this funeral. So I go ahead and walk in there and everything like that. I see a dog going. This is my first time going to the Kingdom Hall in so long, and so then I go in there and I look to my left, and then there goes a whole write up about the proper attire for this funeral. They telling people do not come in jeans and wear proper clothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, how you gonna tell somebody what to wear to a funeral? I said,
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
exactly.
whatever. Yeah, it's all BS. So then yeah. So then, I start seeing familiar faces. Everybody's starting to look all old and stuff like that already. I'm like, dang, like that's how they look now. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy they alive, but you know what I'm saying? And so then I go ahead and I sit on the right. They said that all family. And it's kind of funny though, man. It's like the Jehovah Witness side of my family sat in the middle.
Hmm.
The non JW side was on the right.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so then I just thought, I said, oh, this is kind of awkward, but oh, whatever. And
Yeah, yeah,
so then
yeah.
I remember sitting there. One of the friends from my hall, they come, and this lady know me since I was little. You know what I'm saying? She know me since I was little, so she
Yeah,
comes and
you
go
know, I
ahead.
brought up, when you said that when they sit on the right, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if the elder is facing, that means they're sitting on the left, right?
Yeah.
So he separated the sheep from the goat. He put the goat on the left, and JW on the right.
You had a good observation, man. Good. I didn't
Yeah,
even think about
yeah.
that.
Yeah, bro.
or or
I
with
just
a
thought about them saying
or
that.
with the radical left. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. I just thought
We
when you
were the
said that.
radical left. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, look, that was good though, because I just now think about it. We were the radical left, okay?
Yeah,
Except for my brother, okay? He's kind of in the middle, you know what I'm saying? He
yeah,
was for
yeah,
Joe, yeah, but still, he's not in the title, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
It's so that okay, so one of the friends from my hall, this sister, I mean, she knows me since I was little, and so she goes, she stops, and she stares at me, and so then I'm looking at her, and I'm just like, okay, what the hell? You know me since I was little. Like, are you gonna say something? Like, you're just sitting here staring at me, and so then all of a sudden I just get up and I said, well, hello, Sister Smith, like that. And so then I just gave her a hug, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking to myself, like, man, ain't no time for all this, man. I don't care. Like, I'm here and everything like that. Now, mind you, at the time, this is before I grew these, before I grew my dreads. So I just had a nice cup. I had an earring in my ear and stuff like that. So, nobody didn't notice it yet. They didn't notice it yet. And so then
Uh,
go ahead and have the service, and they're sitting up singing a song and stuff like that. And man, I didn't even stand up to sing no song, man. I'm like, man, I ain't about to be controlled still. Like, they can go ahead and sing the song, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't about to get up and holler and scream all those songs and stuff like that, you know. And
yeah.
so then after the service, I just remember.
Hey Mel, I bet you I can tell what song they sung.
Go ahead, fire off.
And he would call. Something that is that the song? And he would call. I forgot the name of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know exactly. Yeah. That's the one though. That's the one they
Yeah,
sung,
yeah,
man. Yeah, that's the one they sung. And so then,
yeah,
and so what I'm saying. I just sit there and just, it is what it is. But this is the part that started it off. Um, the elder that was in the back room, and when I said that, kind of like was crying and stuff like that. That he was the only one that was kind of just boohoo and crying. He was like, "All is lost. The Titanic has fallen," basically.
yeah.
And during my disfellowship and well, I call it my deliverance committee, so to say. That's why I call it. And so then, he was he came up to me, and so then he was like, "Oh, Marvin, how you been? It's been so long since I seen you." And so then, he gave me a handshake. We shook hands and everything like that. He says, "You know this is the truth, right? You know this is the truth." He said, you need to come back on to the truth. He said, and then he's like, where are you at now? And then he asked me, and I saw him glance at my freaking earring in my ear. And so he said, where you at now? And I said, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then he said, well, have you been in contact with the elders, with the brothers there? Have you gone to the meetings? Nope. Nope.
uh,
I've been going to clubs. I've been going to clubs. I've been, for doing my relationship and stuff like that, working, being about a man about my business. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
So, I'm thinking myself. I just told him like, nah, I haven't. But still,
mhm.
deep down in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, damn. One thing he was right about something. That do I know that this is the truth? Do I know? He tells me that I know this is the truth. Like, okay, let me get in it. You know what I'm saying? Let me figure out if this is the actual truth or not. So then that's when I just started just doing some researching, man. And it's like I came in at a good time. The first thing I did was, okay, I remember when I was I remember one time before, I think one morning I woke up, and so then I looked up Jehovah's Witnesses on YouTube. And then next thing I know, a whole bunch of videos start popping up and stuff like that. And then I
Uh-huh.
find this old video. It's like this little cartoony mess.
Mhm,
It's an old cartoon. Yeah, yeah. I stumbled upon that and I started watching that and I was like, this puts a spin on things. I never do this. I didn't know about 1975. I mean, I heard about, my parents told me some stories about it, saying that a lot of the friends thought that the end of the system of things was coming.
mhm.
I knew about that, but I didn't know that they actually, was talking about that. And so then, it was kind of like when I started really, the thing that really got me was, I think it was the whole John 1:1 thing. That was one of the ones which I struggled with before, but then I found out that they added the word "a God" in there, and so then that's when I was like, hold up here. Okay, so you mean to tell me that they inserted that so that they are adding to the word of God? And then there's a scripture that talks about in the Bible that if you add to this book, then you will be cursed, or something on the terms of that. And so then I'm just like, okay, so this cannot be the truth. And then I started going through the publications and things of that nature, things that's been changed. The blood transfusions, the whole thing about blood transfusions. I thought that is one of the most sickest things that you can do to a person, to a family at that.
Yeah.
How can you really put stipulation on a person or give or change a person what they do medically? You know what I'm saying? Or to have a say so in that matter. It's a proven fact that people's lives have been saved due to blood transfusions. I mean seriously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was one of the things, and so then that's when I just thought to myself, I'm like, okay, something's awkward here, something's going on. And then the Australia Royal Commission, that was the last straw right there. When I found out
Mm.
about that, I'm like, how in the world could this be the truth when they're just like the others? When they're just like the other religions, they got
Mhm.
child pedophilia going on and stuff like that. Like my perception of God was on another level because if I read in the Bible, if I read in the Bible that God has intervened so many times, that he could send an angel to intervene so many times, then why can't he sit up there and defend one of his servants from committing a gross act and causing so much pain in a person's life? Why not? My mind just starts just going, just trying to, uh, find some sense of all this mess. And so then that's when I just said, you know what? I don't want to deal with Watchtower anymore. I really don't want. This is something that I do not need to go back to. And so during this brief period of time, I went home one time, because like I said, I still had, at that time, I still had some type of relationship with my parents. And we got into I think what happened was that my mom, she was like, I think I went over there and then she told me, she was like, so and so is getting baptized. And I think she was telling me that one of my friends that was in Kingdom Hall, he's been in fellowship like twice, and so then he decides that he wants to get reinstated, and so then she was telling me that she's like, yeah, Deidre's getting reinstated. I'm just waiting on you to to make the right choice like that. And so now I just remember telling my mom like, look, I'm not going back to that. I just told her straight up, like, I'm not. I said no, and I said maybe if you should read your Bible without using the publications. And then that's when she just said, read your Bible. And at the time, I considered myself like a born again Christian at this time, because I still believe the Bible was the only religious text, and that it was written by God and it was from God and everything like that. This was my thinking back then. And so then,
Yeah.
she told me that she told me that, well, maybe you need to read your Bible. Let me tell you something, Jumanji, man. Like, when I think back to myself being a born again Christian or calling myself a born again Christian, it's kind
Yeah.
it's kind of like I was more emotional then. And I felt as though like I got so emotional when she said that because I just started firing off a whole bunch of stuff. Because, for one thing, for certain, like when it came to communion, and that was the thing, like I started going to my wife's church at this time, and I'm just not starting to take communion. So I'm just like, y'all don't even do the. I said y'all don't even do what you're supposed to do. Y'all can't even show that you're really anointed in the eyes of God. So y'all need to take communion. I was just going in on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what they expect. They
Yeah.
want you like that. They want an emotional battle with you. So when you
Yeah.
are debating your JW family, they want you to get emotional because they're
Yeah.
emotional. you
Yeah. Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so then that's when I was like, I was just going off at them. And then, my dad was doing this little Bible lesson talking about comparing me to Satan, saying that I was once a angel of light and now I became an angel of darkness. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it was
Yeah.
on the, it was just, that whole entire, and when I was at the house, that whole entire conversation was just stupid. The only person that had a brain was my wife and my sister. Because my wife was like, look, everybody has sinned. Everybody
Yeah.
has done dirt. Everybody has done, this, that, and the third. Nobody is better than anybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, people that have not been in this religion, they look at the whole JW thing as just complete bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, they just look at it as this stuff is just dumb. Like, y'all are just
Yeah.
sitting
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
all y'all have sinned anyway. So, what makes you better than this person? You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, so then that's one run, and then I remember writing my parents a letter, just apologizing, because I had some time to reflect on everything. I just had, I just wrote them a letter apologizing for everything like that, and then I kind of exposed some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I started talking about Charles Taz Russell. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I believed that he was a Freemason, but I was correct about the whole thing about him having a cross and stuff on his pyramid and everything
Uh-huh.
like that. The symbolism and stuff. I did share that with them and told them about the Australia Royal Commission. Then I did get some feedback from my sister about it, and she was just saying that oh yeah, mom said that you're just angry at the organization. That's what she said. I'm angry at the
Hmm.
organization. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
in a way, she was correct. Like, I am angry at how my whole entire family has just been completely manipulated all of these years, you know.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
then back to my little story and everything like that, when it comes to waking up, I think the draw for me was I got in contact with Lady C and JT, XJW Critical Thinkers. I
Mhm.
got in contact with them. I had a whole hour long conversation with them. And so then they went ahead and they put me on. They said, well, there's a couple that lives near you. As she said, there's a couple that lives near you. There, the brother, he's an XJW too. So I'm thinking in my mind, like, okay, saying, yeah, link us up. This
Mhm.
time I'm a Christian and everything like that, what I'm saying? And so then
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have a good old conversation. And you remember True A&R, the one that I interviewed on my channel that day? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 We're talking about him now. So then I go ahead, they give me his number, I give him a call and everything like that. Conversation going real good. It's going real good. And so then next thing I know, I asked him a question. I was like, you know, he says, well, how you doing now? Mentally, that is like, and spiritually, like how, saying like, have you been doing any type of research and everything like that? And so then I said, yeah. I said, man, I'm just trying to just find Jesus Christ, man. That's what I tell him straight up. Now, that sounds awkward coming from me, is it not?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is
Yeah.
me, okay? That's how I was
Yeah.
thinking, man. I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to find faith, find faith in Jesus Christ and everything like that. And so then, I just remember there was a short pause, and he said, "Well, can I tell you something? Can I? Are you open to anything?" I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "Yeah, go ahead." You know what I'm saying? So then he said, "What do you think we were doing?" And he said, "You get by the way that you sound like a black person." He said, "You black, right?" That's what he said. He said, "You're black." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." So then he said, "What do you think we were doing before slavery? What were we worshiping before slavery?" I couldn't answer that.
Hmm.
Like it was a long pause. Man, nobody ever asked me that
Yeah.
question
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. Nobody ever
What
talked.
were
Yeah.
black people doing before slave? What were we worshiping before slavery?
Mhm.
And then that's when I said, well, maybe we could have been Muslim or Christian. I mean, I just try to just think of anything because I didn't know anything about any other type of religion. I didn't know, what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm still in my brain. I'm still thinking that we were still in Africa swinging on trees and stuff like
Oh,
that.
goddamn.
Look, man.
Oh shit.
Look, I'm just being real, man. I didn't know anything about this stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still thinking that way. Okay, I'm not
Yeah.
knowing. I don't know anything about my history. I'm just know that okay, we was brought from across the boat, and then look, this is where our history starts. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just where
Yeah.
I'm thinking. That's what my
Yeah. Yeah.
mindset is. And so then he just said well, I encourage you to do some research. Look up Serapis Christus. Look up Serapis. And so then that's when I started looking up some things and everything like that. And so then I was like, I clicked on. I said, you know what? I said we need to get up. I'm saying, he's like, well, I'll tell you what. I drive trucks on the weekdays, and so then we can get up this Saturday. We can have it over and everything like that. And that's one thing I told my wife, I was like, look, I just met up, linked up with this couple. They used to be they extra whole witnesses, and we can we can link up like that. My wife is like a little creeped out. You know what I'm saying? She's like, well, are you sure? She's like, they might be
Uh-huh.
killers or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's like, they might be killers or
Yeah.
something.
Like, did you get my address?
Yeah, yeah. She's like, they must be killers, and I'm like, yeah, we gonna go over there. And so then, she was a little on the creepy side and everything about it. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
awkward because it's like this, man. When you leave Watchtower, you lose all your friends.
Hmm.
And for me, it was like I moved for one, and it's what you're supposed to do. I told Jerron, you remember Jerron White's having my channel? Dude's doing great, man. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
anyway, I tell people this,
Yeah.
like, when you get this fellowship, the best thing for you to do is just leave that town if you can. Leave
Hmm.
and start over and form a new base. That way you don't have to see any of those bum ass JWs. You don't have to see none of them. You don't have to see nobody. You just start a clean slate. Because for one, you lose
Exactly.
your social base. You lose it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so then for me, I moved. about 180 miles away. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting up there by myself, just with my wife and my family, stuff like that. So then, I needed to form a new base. And what better way to do it than to get up with people that used to be a part of the same cult that I was in? You know what I'm saying? So then,
Yeah.
and so then I get up, then we go over there, we have a nice cookout. And so then that's when we start, getting to some religious stuff, so to say. He tells me who is Serapis. And he started telling who Serapis Christus is, and a lot of people don't know who Serapis, so to say, is. And
What's
basically,
going on, Claudia? How's it going,
and,
Claudia?
yeah, you good. And basically, like, Serapis Christus was a Greco Egyptian deity of the sun. First encountered, he's up there in Memphis. And based upon the Apis bull. Now, one thing about the god Serapis is that
Yeah.
he is modeled after the Greek pharaoh Ptolemy. I believe it's Ptolemy the first. And it's kind of like this, man. Like, the thing about Serapis is that he's modeled, yes, after Ptolemy, but Ptolemy um, wanted to be worshipped as a god, basically. And so then this right here, well, I should say Alexander the Great. Say it all started with Alexander the Great too. But it's like these people, the Greeks, went into Egypt wanting to be worshipped as gods. You know what I'm saying? And so then Serapis Christus was like one of the first things that started my waking up process, because, you know, if you look up Ptolemy Soter, there's something in Christianity that's modeled after him, and I believe it's called. You ever heard of soterology before, Jumanji?
Oh, no, no, I haven't heard of that.
Okay,
No, I never, I
I'm
never heard
gonna
of that.
pull it up. I'm pull up. Okay. Basically, soteriology is the doctrine of salvation. That's what they call it.
Okay.
It's the doc. Now you have a freaking ruler that's named Ptolemy Soter. Then you have a doctrine in Christianity named soteriology. So automatically that should go ahead and start firing some neurons off. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that should automatically start. Okay, why do they have a pagan Greco ruler and they have a doctrine named after him? You know what I'm saying? And so they, this went ahead and started firing some things off in me and everything. And then I started researching. They started educating me on um, about Kemet, about Egypt. In my mind, I thought that I knew so much, but yet still I knew so little, because I did not see myself, or when I mean myself, or people that look like me, I did not see them in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? I did not see black people in Egypt. I was thinking that, and it's not so much as me being racist or nothing like that, but I thought that all Egyptians were Arabs that were over there now, or just basically how I saw people in Watchtower. And that's one of the things that later on this distanced me from Watchtower,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I go
yeah.
back and I start looking up and seeing how the walls were in Kemet. And the reason why I call Egypt Kemet, is because that was the original name of it. But I start seeing, here it is. They depict themselves as black people, but yet still in Watchtower, these are
Mhm.
how the people look. So why do they
Exactly.
not have black people in the depictions in biblical times in
Exactly.
Watchtower's magazines? So then that's why all this stuff I started bringing it back to Watchtower, bringing it back to that. And so then I'm just thinking to myself, like, dang, like, I just never thought about this. And so then, that's when I started, really reading up into stuff, for I still believe the Bible to be the word of God and everything like that. But then it was like, when I tuned into Sinetta TV, when I stumbled upon Sinetta TV, that's one of the things that really woke me up big time, because I never thought that the Bible contradicted itself so many times. And the reason why it contradicts itself is because you have it written by different people. But I think I'm trying to figure out a point that I want to talk about, and I'm gonna talk about how I feel about the morality of Jehovah, so to say. You know what I'm saying? Cause that's one of my I think we can do part two. You know, this last part of part two. Cause I mean, I didn't want to make this be too long. Cause it's on a Sunday and everything like that. But you know, we could spend some time talking about this. You know, when I was in Watchtower and everything like that, you know, I kind of felt as though like, you know, um, God is good all the time, so to say. You know what I'm saying? And so then I never really thought about the whole entire flood situation.
Yeah. I know I was
Now,
hold on for a minute.
go ahead.
I want to go back on something you said about the Egyptians,
Go ahead.
and they pictures of them, right?
Uh huh.
I got the book of Bible stories, and I was just show the audience, man, show
Go
the
ahead,
audience
man.
what Egyptians look like. Look is that? Come on, man, that's Egyptians, man. What the? Look at that. You see that? So like
Yeah.
it's like so like when you look at ancient Egyptian in the Watchtower, even some Christian books, man, it's like, yeah, you would think that okay, the ancient Egyptians were white, but no. When you go back, if they were that color, yeah, they no. Okay, this is one thing I would say that if it was a true depiction, right?
Uh huh.
What's that on their skin? That's a true depiction of white people living in Egypt, right? In that heat,
Yeah. Yeah. Man,
skin cancer, right?
I'm just
Yeah,
saying, you
yeah,
just speak. I mean, you just speaking on some real stuff. But then, you
exactly.
know, but then my thing is this, and this is how much, and it's not so much as you know us playing on race, but I just believe that the image should be the correct representation of that which you're trying to
Exactly.
emulate. And so
Exactly.
then, if like one of the things about Watchtowers that they quote Herodotus. They have quoted Herodotus, one of the Greek notable Greek historians, but they don't honor what he said. And basically, like Herodotus said that the Egyptians and Nubians have thick lips, broad noses, woolly hair, and burnt skin. And the Indian tribes, you know, that he mentioned that their skins are all the same color, much like the Ethiopians. Their country is a long way from Persia. You also had Diodorus, the Greek historian, upon his return to Greece, you know, they gathered around and asked him. They said, "Tell us about this great land of the blacks called Ethiopia." You know, this is Theodorus
Mm-hmm.
and Herodotus, and then basically said there are, you know, like I said before, there are two great Ethiopian nations, and you know, and the people of Egypt had close ties to the people that lived in Ethiopia. So then
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's like, you know, they kind of just do a disservice to people. You know what I'm saying? They don't honor what the scholars
Exactly.
have of historians have said. You know,
Exactly.
and then one
Well, I mean,
also too.
they
If
focus. Well, I mean, well, no, I'm
go
saying
ahead.
they focus so much on what Jesus died on. They want to be so accurate what Jesus died on. Be accurate on everything, man. Don't be accurate just
Yeah,
on what Jesus died on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then also too. When it comes to the way that they travel, there was a I think I want to say Ramesses, I believe. I think that I don't quote research that, but I think it was Ramesses or one of the kings I should say from Egypt. He was from Central Africa. You know what I'm saying? He basically he came to Egypt and ruled as a king. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was Ursa Morales and Tepera. That's it is Ramesses, but you know what I'm saying. But that basically what I'm trying to say is that they were all over the whole entire continent of Africa. But this is stuff that we aren't educated on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then also too, I mean, they didn't really back then. Race really wasn't focused on like it is today. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't too much hit on. But I know I said I
Yeah.
want to talk about morality of God, but since we're on, you know, saying on Kemet, I think I could talk a little bit. I think I should really talk about the whole spiritualities on side of it,
What's going
and
on,
you know,
CT?
and why I kind of gravitate to, and why I kind of gravitate towards that. I'm gonna say this: the pyramid text is one of the ones that really opened my eyes. And if you really want to see something, get this book right here. I know you remember that nigga with the, I know I said nigga, but you know, we just this is black people talk. I know you remember the dude with the lock, right? Have you ever seen his book before?
No, I never seen that. No, I
This
never
is
seen
his
that one.
book. It's called Codex
What that?
Game Over.
Okay,
And basically,
where you
what
get it?
it,
Where you get that
at,
from? You can't get it from
on
Barnes and
Amazon.
Nobles.
No, no, go
Oh,
get on,
okay.
get off Amazon.
Amazon.
Get off
Okay.
Amazon.
All right.
And so then it is a documented correlation of original ancient Egyptian, he says, quote, parentheses, African texts and later biblical plagiarized versions. Evidence
Mm-hmm.
that you were not meant to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so then I picked up this book and I heard about it. You know what I'm saying? I heard that the Hebrews did not like this book. Hebrew Israelites did not like this book. So I'm like, well,
I
dang,
bet.
what's the problem with this little pamphlet? I mean, it's a small little book. But let me
Uh huh.
open it up real quick. Let me open it up. So we was always taught what? That the Bible was authentic, or that it was the word of God, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah. What a
You know
guy.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was, there's nothing else like the book. Well, when I open this up, have you ever read anything with the pyramid text, Jumanji, before? Have you ever read the
No.
pyramid text?
No. I've not. No, I've not read that.
Okay, it's a the pyramid text is one of the oldest religious texts on this
Mm-hmm.
planet today. Still preserved, still authentic. You can't find an original Bible anywhere. You cannot find that. You know what I'm saying? You can you there's not going to be not one original book that you can
Mm-hmm.
find about. You might find a piece or a copy of a copy, but you're not going to find no original. The
Yeah.
pyramid
Yeah.
text is still there today. The
Mm-hmm.
direct what they copied the actual the books from the pyramid text, you can find that today. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many when I read the pyramid text, now I got this book first, and I went back and read the pyramid text and everything like that. And so then that's when I started seeing so many. I did not know there were so many pieces of the Bible or concepts of the Bible that's included in the pyramid text. Let's see. Uh, I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to just throw one out there. You have utterance 519, the pyramid text from ancient Egypt. It says, "They give to the tree of life whereof they live." Tree of life. I'm like, hold up, tree of life? Wasn't the tree of life only authentic in the Bible? Didn't the Bible
Mm.
bring up the tree of life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then later in Genesis chapter 3 verse 22 it says, "Take also from the tree of life."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking to
Well, I mean,
myself, like, go ahead.
okay. But what do Christian apologists what do
Go
Christian
ahead.
apologists say to that though? What they say to that when
I got
anytime
it.
you bring up something about the Bible copying from other cultures, what's the Christian apologist answer? What what do
Let
they
me
say
tell
about
you,
that?
I didn't talk about that part of my waking up process, my debating part, but I've
Uh,
debated so many people online. That's why I had to get that's how I learned. But anyway, I already know the response that they bring. They say that, oh well, when they were in captivity in Israel, they copied the language. But you see, the problem with that is this. The problem with that is this. How are you going to copy an actual entity or something that is called a tree of life? How can that be a part of your language? Then that means the whole entire story. Where did you get it from?
but
Where did you get
no.
this
What
from?
they say, no, what they say is the Tower of Babel. When they learned
Mm,
the language, they split, but they took away all the. So basically, their answer is that when the Tower of Babel, all the people spread, but they still kept all the stuff. So that's how you got um the same idea in different cultures. But
mm.
but the Bible tells you, man, Moses learned all the wisdom of Egypt before he left.
Yeah,
That tells you where
yeah.
he got his information
But they
from.
don't. But they don't want ever. But nobody never wants to know what wisdom did he learn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Nobody ever wants to really get into that. What did
yeah,
he
yeah,
learn from Egypt? If it was wisdom, it was knowledge, then
yeah,
certainly the knowledge that he had to bring it into what was going on in his day. You know what I'm saying? It's like
exactly.
this, like, okay, I have a business degree, right? I take the knowledge
Mhm.
that I learned from college and I implement it in my life now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In my dealings. So where did he get the information? What benefited him from having
Yeah,
this information? It was wisdom. You know, he got the wisdom
mhm.
from the Egyptians. He learned all their wisdom. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying? And so
yeah.
then, I just started going through this book, man. Like I just started seeing more and more, you know, copies and different things, man. I think another one was utterance 685 in the pyramid text, the waters of life which are the sky, the waters of life which are in the earth to come. And then later on, Revelations 21, 5 through 7 says, from the fountains of the waters of life, take the waters of life. I'm just like, it starts talking about the waters of life, and this is the same thing. They just said that, you know what I'm saying? And anyway, so it's like, man, it's like this stuff is a direct copy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so then that's when that was like, you know what? Now I understand what's really going on. I'm kind of being, it's kind of a game here that's being played. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so then it was
Mhm.
like, then man, you know, I kind of started getting into the, you know, into comedic spirituality a little bit. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, you know, I just felt as though like I don't want to be a part of another religion really. You know what I'm saying? Religion is good. You know what I'm saying, but it's like another mainstream religion or another religion that it's owned by another person.
Mhm.
Like, nah, I don't want to be a part of that because I feel as though like my life cannot be ran like a BC religion. My life is different from what the ancient people did.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We get up, we drive cars now. We turn on a TV now. You know what I'm saying? It's still good to take those concepts and the things that they did, but this is a different world now. You know what I'm saying? And so
Exactly.
then it's
Yeah.
like I still read a lot of religious information, you know, when it comes to that. But then again, it's like now like this stuff is not really going to benefit me none. It's just like I don't know if he's tuning in, but I think what's the guy that you had on here that you last did a interview with?
Oh yeah, 55. The
55, shout out to
yeah.
55, man, my dude, man. Man
Yeah.
on point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like, you know, when he asked me, he says, you know, how did I feel after taking communion? And truth be told, like, man, I didn't feel anything. You know,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel anything because for one, the way that my mind works is that I stay in reality.
Mhm.
You know, by me necessarily getting involved in another religion, I feel as though it puts me back in the same hole that I was in. You know,
Yeah.
and not saying that
Yeah.
religion is bad, but you know, people. When I look at a lot of religions today, they don't really include all the concepts of religion, or they don't really they stop people from having that mythical experience. And basically, that mythical experience is that the things which helps you to incorporate you know that keeps making you push towards the future, so to say. You know what I'm saying? It kind of makes you more awake. And what I mean is that it brings you up to speed with reality. So it's like this. Everybody, it's like when we were in Watchtower, right? They necessarily we lack symbolism, correct? You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
know it seems
Yeah. I
like yeah.
guess.
I'm
Yeah.
trying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We didn't have symbolism. Well, symbolism is one of the important pieces of religion, and then also too you have to have a story behind it.
Mhm.
And so if any of those two are lacking, then I mean, you know, it's not going to be you're not going to have that mythical experience from it. And so
Mhm.
then nowadays it's like you know it's kind of like you can't really it doesn't really mean anything anymore, you know what I'm saying, to me. And I hope I'm trying to make sense. You know, but it's
Yeah.
like now, yeah, it's like now like that stuff doesn't really mean anything. And so that's when, you know, I'm at the point now to whereas, you know, it's just like, yeah, it's good to know the 42 laws of my aunt, it's good to know this, good to know that, but at the end of the day, you know, I could just only thing I can do is just maintain myself, maintain my life, so to say, you know, and what things are
Yeah.
going on now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember. You ever listen to what's his name? Kaba, Professor Kaba Kamene.
I don't believe I've heard him before.
He's a light skinned cat from New York. He used to be on Sunday. He was on Hidden Colors too.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he was saying that Christianity, and this is the thing about different time zones. Sometimes we go back to Kemet, sometimes we go back to Christianity. Um, and we live in different cultures today, right? We live in different cultures from what they lived 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. So
Uh-huh.
basically saying, when we were enslaved in America, Christianity gave us hope. It was kind of like
Right.
a boat that got us across water. Once you're on the other side of the water, You don't really need the boat anymore. So it's good to go back there, but you got to look at what we need right now. You know what I'm saying? So to go back to something ancient to say, okay, I'm gonna use that right now, you can't, because we live in a different culture. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with looking at the ancient, the past, and see how they did it, but they lived it under different circumstance. You know what I'm saying? If you were look,
Yeah.
you know, I hope I'm articulating that right. So it's like,
No,
you know,
you
I
are.
could
You're
look
good.
back, yeah, I could look back in the past of what they did, and that's good to know about that. But we live at a different time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
While they were teaching people how to pretty much um we say you if you live in agricultural society, how to hunt and things like that. Today we don't really have to worry too much about that. It's good to know that, but we don't have to really too much worry about that. We just got to worry if we live in this culture over here more of how to maintain your finances and things like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
kind of got a little off track, but I want to say I do want to say that back to the whole waking up process. Well, I'm just gonna just fire off some things. I kind of can't go like in a timeline because it's like we
Okay.
said before, so much stuff has gone on. But
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about when my other grandfather had to deal with that funeral. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And that this was like my first time actually facing my family that were Jehovah's Witnesses. And so then it's like on my mom's side, it's really broken up because it's like for one, they had a lot of kids. Number two, there are some disfellowship and some are still JWs. So automatically, it's like there's going to be a big division. Some of them haven't seen each other in like 15 years because of this cult, you know. And so then I just remember I went to the house and then my uncle he snaps. And what I mean he snaps is because he says that well the best time I had with my dad was after he stepped down from being an elder.
Mm.
Yeah, and that means that because I mean, it was. I mean, he was able to come to the house. He was able to talk to his dad for like so after so long.
Mhm.
My grandfather fell ill. It's like everybody can all of a sudden talk to him now. And that's the thing that
Yeah.
kind of sucks about the Watchtower nowadays. It's like as that generation is getting older, then it's like, oh yeah, you come around because his days are, he's not really doing too well. So yeah, come to the house and everything like that. But yet still, when a person's up and good, it's like, yeah, you can't be around them. You can't sit down at the table with them. You can't come to the house. You know what I'm saying? You can't do for them. But yet still, when they get older, it's like, oh yeah, you got to take care of the older ones. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
but anyway, back to what happened. This was a night before the funeral was supposed to for the service. My uncle snaps and he says this little thing, then all of a sudden a huge religious debate. And my and my arrogant behind is sitting up there just listening to this, and Jumanji's gonna be filtered off, okay? Because I gotta speak, okay? So that my ass is just sitting there just looking. I'm thinking to myself like, why are they arguing about some BS religious text? And I'm just sitting there. I'm like this, man. If I'm sitting in a room, this type of person I am. I'll sit in there. I will just listen to a bunch of people argue about some BS. I would not say anything for a while, but after a time, I'll just go ahead and just say something how I feel about. Because for one, I want everybody to just shut the hell up. For one,
Yeah.
you know what
I
I'm saying.
can't
So
take it anymore.
yeah, I'm just sitting up there, man. Just sitting there, just watching this little stupid behind them throwing scriptures back and forth. And I said, hold up here, why is it that and I really yelled. I said, y'all, just stop for a second, just stop, everybody, just stop. And everybody said, looking at me, and my dad's looking at me like, I said, why are we sitting up there arguing about a religious book when, to begin with, we didn't even have it before we came across the boat?
Hmm.
The room gets quiet. My dad says, "You're not African." I'm like, he tells me I'm not African. I'm like, and then I said, and then I said, okay. I said, okay. Now this is the time. This is how much I have grown, have progressed. You know what I'm saying? Well, this is how when you really do invest your mind into some knowledge, you know what I'm saying, and not so much as a religious sense, but into knowledge, then it really helps you with the way you are, the way you carry yourself, the way your demeanor is, and it really does help you out a lot. And so then I just said, okay, yeah, whatever. I said, well, Indians. I said, let's say Indians, since we want to be Native Americans. Well, Indians. What did they have before the white man came over here, or before any colonizer came over here? No, they didn't. They had something different.
Hmm.
And so then, that's when I said, okay. I said, since we all know so much about the Bible and everything like that, I asked a question. I said, I forgot what I asked. It just slipped my mind. But I think I asked them the same thing we was just talking about when it came to when it came to I said, what is the oldest religious? I just started quizzing them on a whole bunch of things, and this stuff is sounding foreign to them. You know what I'm saying? They just it's
Hmm.
like it's like I think one of my uncles said, what do you mean? What do you mean the Bible's been tampered with a copy? Well, I said, what do you mean? I said, well, if you go into the text, it talks about the morning star. You know what I'm saying? It talks about Jesus supposed to be the morning star, but yet still, when I go into the pyramid text, it's right there. So I mean, my thing is this: why are we arguing about unauthentic text? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
then that's when it's like they just have to do damage control. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad was like, come on outside. I want to talk to you and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the young ones that's in my family that's there. They don't want them getting this knowledge. They don't want them knowing
Yeah.
this information. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And so
Yeah.
then yeah. So then that's when
Wait, he didn't bring out the reason. He didn't bring out the reason, but
the reason the book does not cover this information.
yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Yeah.
when it comes to stuff that's written in the pyramid text, nah, they
Yeah.
ain't gonna talk. They can't talk. They don't have that
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
there because you can't refute
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
you can't.
don't it say it's the Bible white man. Don't the reason book is the Bible white man's book.
I do not. I've never cut. I never seen that before, but
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. I just
Yeah.
that's when they had to do damage control. You know what I'm
Yeah. That,
saying?
you know what's interesting though. You said Jesus. The Bible said Jesus is the morning star. You said
Mm-hmm.
the Bible said don't the Bible say in Isaiah that Lucifer is the morning star?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. Yeah. What's going on cooking with Curly? What's going on, man?
cooking with Curly. I like that name, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't got no hair. He ain't got no hair.
Hey, man. Look, man. It is what it is, man. It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. What's
but
going on,
yeah,
cooking with
yeah.
Curly?
But you were right about that, man. The Bible does talk about saying the morning star, and also too it's included in the pyramid text. I'm trying to look
Mm,
for it now. Um, let's see. I know it's in here somewhere. Because I want to be a man about my information. And like I said before, okay, here we go. Dang, I was talking about it. I was looking right in front of my face. Um, I think it's utterance 519, utterance 437, and utterance 610, 461, 676, and basically it says, "O morning star, okay, he appoints thee as a morning star, and thou sittest upon thy throne." And then in another utterance, it says, "He appoints thee as the morning star, and when thou ascendest as a star, as the morning star." This is the pyramid text talking. Now let's go into the Bible. The morning star is referenced in one of them referenced on Revelations 22 verse 16, I believe. It says, "I Jesus has sent my angel to you with his testimony for the churches. I am the root of the offspring of David, the bright morning star." So it's kind of like in a sense like, well, dang, why are they using these concepts? Why are they using these titles from a text that is supposed to be that's supposed to be of the demons or whatnot? You know what
crazy,
I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, it's like this stuff is foreign to them that they were trying to, they was talking about, and so then I think
Well,
that
you do. You do remember though. Mary and Joseph. Then they go to Egypt. It's like a
yeah,
lot of people in the Bible go to Egypt. Then they go to Egypt, and then some of the doggone apostles went down to Egypt. Or who was that? Philip went talked to the dude in the chariot. Wasn't he from doggone Africa?
yeah. The thing
Yeah. So
about
the
it is,
Bible.
is that yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not saying the Bible tell you in it that they had contact with people from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but it's like the Bible says, oh, this is the word of God. No, this ain't no word of God, man. This is people that had contact with Egyptians, other people, and they took some of the stuff and ran with it. Yeah, but go ahead, man.
No, you good, man. You good. That's helped me out. But yeah, man, like Egypt was kind of like the a lot of times people say Egypt was kind of like America is to the world today. Everybody comes to America to get, America's like the melting pot. You know what I'm saying? So the same.
Uh-huh.
That's why a lot of times, you can't really totally say that. Egypt started
See?
out as African, and then later on, they allowed more people to come in. You know what I'm saying? Or they didn't even allow it. People just started migrating in there. You know what I'm saying? And also
Yeah.
too, I mean, race wasn't really looked at as it is today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I mean, it's just like, everybody can say it. They
What's
have
going on,
some ties
Sparlock?
to that area. You know what I'm saying? But we
Yeah.
can spend some time, real quick and really address some people in the comments. Cause I see they got a little conversation going on and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm on my phone, so I can't. I gotta scroll down. But yeah, yeah. I look at some of these comments real quick. I'm doing some stuff around the house. So I ain't got my camera on. I'm not trying to, show my
Oh, okay.
castle. Yeah. But
Yeah, yeah. You don't want
yeah. Let
nobody.
me
You don't
see.
want nobody seeing that mansion, man.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? People might, they might be some killers. Might be some killers on here. Yeah. Let
Right,
me
right.
see. All right. So
Exactly.
yeah. So let me see. Yeah, my battery's dying too. Oh man. Yeah, it's a lot, man. So okay, yeah, it's a lot. Maggie two. I didn't even see this way back. Maggie two. What's going on, Maggie two? She said they think the universe revolves around them. Talk about the elders.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they think that that they are the closest thing to God, or that that they talk to God, and that God's like when they have you in the back room, that God thinks that you're actually that there. He's actually there. He has a angel up there. That's not the truth, man. Let me tell you something. Those elders don't have. They sit on the goddamn toilet just like how each and every one of us. They put their pants on just like how each and every one of us do. One leg in,
Mhm.
or sometimes they may even open them up and jump in there. Sometimes they got to lay on the bed and put the pants up and stuff like that, or whatever how they
Mhm.
do it. They still got to put them on. Okay, so
Mhm.
my thing is these people are so powerless. They don't have no
Exactly.
power in
No
them. There's
power.
nothing there.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? The
Yep.
thing that
Exactly,
I
man.
left out that I should have said was this, and I forgot to mention. I hate I did that. When they said that you have 7 weeks to appeal their decision, after they, I hate I forgot about it. After my fellowship, they said you got 7 days to appeal. I'm like, what the world is this?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of man?
Appeal.
Appeal their decision for this fellowshipping?
Oh man.
Did they tell
Come
you
on.
that?
No, they didn't tell me anything. No,
Yeah, they
they
told
didn't
me
tell
I
me that.
got seven. They told me I had 7 days to appeal, and
Seven days.
I'm thinking to myself like, yo, what kind of mess is this? What is this?
Yeah, and appeal.
How in
That's a
the
appeal. That's like some legal. That's like some legal stuff, man.
yeah, that's what they said. And I'm thinking to myself like, are you serious? I'm like, are they serious? Like, okay, this fellowshipping is something that's supposed to be made in heaven. You know what I'm saying? This is Jehovah's decision. And these guys are saying that I can submit an appeal to them.
Yeah,
God not supposed to make no mistakes. So that means to say that if you make an appeal, then that means that okay, you feel as though there's a mistake made, or that they see that there's an error that was made. You know what I'm saying? Because let's say if I withheld some information or some more information comes out, then you can sit up there and you can overwrite that decision that was made.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that's when I was like, man, this is just some BS, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Most definitely, yeah, man. Yeah,
hmm
most definitely, man. Yeah, I mean, anytime I've been had to appeal something, it's either been in court or some kind of government aid, man. That's the only time I appealed something that I was denied, man. You appeal your parole from dog. You appeal your doggone denial when you know you trying
Yeah.
to get a parole or
Hey,
something.
man, hold on
You
one
you
second,
appeal that.
Jumanji. Hold
Yeah,
on one
go ahead.
second, man.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let me read these comments, man. It says TW says when I left the truth. When I left, I did not know the truth about the truth. I only knew in my gut that something was not right. I walked away, no DF here. I've been out 30 years. Yeah, same here, man. I've not been this fellowship. But yeah, you know something not right, man. That's your common sense. Telling you, wait, some don't make sense. Some do not make sense at all. Yeah, so yeah, I think all of us feel that. And I think even some people as witnesses still feel that something's not right. Something's not right, but I gave too much. Yeah, Tim, idea man, what's going on, buddy? I don't know if you're still in here because these comments are old. So yeah, I'm trying to look at these. Uh, TW said funeral is a marketing program for Watchtower. Exactly, it is, man. It's a thing that showed. It's pretty much using what do you call that? They're using the hope of resurrection to bring people in. When people have their own religious belief about what's going on after death, Watchtower is trying to bring the hope of resurrection to bring people in. So they use a funeral to bring people in. They use these grieving people that they might want to hear something good about the person. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with giving them hope. But when you go to a memorial and you're not speaking about the person, why am I here? You know, why am I here? I
Mm-hmm.
could get more of this from a newspaper. Newspaper commemorate my family member more than the doggone Kingdom Hall. Said
Yeah.
if I had a JW funeral now, the elder talk would be short and would go something like this. Brother TW is weak as hell, then he closing the prayer. Yeah, they probably wouldn't even give you a funeral. 'Cause I think if you commit suicide, they don't do memorials, right?
No,
They don't do memorials, right?
I don't believe they do, cause I
They don't
remember
do
that
it.
one sister. She committed suicide at that time. She shot herself. It was my one of my
Yeah,
mom's field service, but I don't think that she didn't have a JW funeral. You know, they mostly
yeah,
had. I
yeah.
think the family hosted a service.
Yeah,
You
just
know.
fellowship, they don't do it either. The big
Yeah.
squeeze. Yeah, that's that big squeeze. You know what the big squeeze is? No, it's the big squeeze is, Marvin?
What's the big squeeze, man?
Big squeeze when you go in the Kingdom Hall, you ain't been there a long time and they
Oh
trying
yeah,
to give you
yeah,
that
yeah,
love
yeah,
bomb.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That
yeah.
love
But
bombing.
then yeah, but when you don't go back no more, it's the they give that big ignore, act like they don't see you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I would think
yeah.
about a
I
song.
only got
I
that
would
one
think,
time. That's how I didn't know about it.
yeah. I would think a song about field service. Yeah, I can't think of a song
Yeah.
about field service. Shit,
I
I
did
can't think of
there's one more thing I want to share, Jumanji,
yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
we can go ahead and do a part three sometime. But this is
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
the other things that kind of you know what I'm saying like that kind of like yeah that kind of woke me up a little bit. It was the whole thing about plagiarism, and you ever heard what syncretism is? You ever heard of that
Yeah,
before?
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Syncretism, yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the
Yeah.
big
Well,
things,
wait,
man.
hold on. Explain what syncretism is. People who might not know. I mean, syncretism, like when you get the holidays and they try to put together, you put heathenistic practices with a certain. You put two different religious practices, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
much it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
So I did a video. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I can start talking about my YouTube channel. You know, House of Shango a little bit. That's where you can check me out at. But I did a video. I think on this on syncretism dealing with the Bible as well as other religions, and I did on the concept of spit of just of spit. A lot of people don't even know this, but there's a spit superstition that's been played around in ancient cultures, and basically it's like this. You know, this is a write up that I did. It's a superstition has been portrayed as an endurance of a conviction, which has arisen from a primitive belief in magic. You know, I look at it as this: like in ancient times, people credited exceptional properties to specific people or archetypes, or perhaps even some people. They believed that in enchanting of saliva and looked at as a source of healing if it came from a ruler or a prophet, because they believed that they were already directed by God and inspired by God. So they are able to do powerful healings using divine power. So back in ancient times, a lot of times they believed that there was therapeutics in saliva, and this is nothing authentic, and it goes beyond the Bible, because in the Bible you hear about Jesus doing what? Spitting at people, right? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? When I'm pretty sure, there's scriptures when it talks about Jesus spitting and stuff like that.
yeah. You hear the man's
And this
eye.
thing
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
yeah, and it goes all throughout humanity, and it's particularly referenced as the remedy for sore eyes or rebuilding sight. Now, sometimes in the Bible they use it. Some people will say that, well, this is meant to be it's not literal. It's in a spiritual sense, so to say. A lot of times people say he gave them more knowledge, or he opened his eyes so that they can see. You know, say a lot of
huh.
times people say that. You know, this people they add like little twists and turns to that.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So,
yeah.
but in the tale of Christ, you know what I'm saying, it's revealed that a visually impaired man and a hard hearing man, that Jesus healed him with his drool. And there's a comparable story that's recounted. You ever heard of Vespian?
Who?
Vespian?
Best friend. That the Roman. That the Roman. Roman ruler.
He, Yeah, there is a story of
Yeah, yeah,
him, of his drool basically helping a dazzle man to see. And TW said in urine also too. But we can go back further, and I'm gonna bring it back home to Kemet. Like if you go to Pert Imharu, and it like in there's a utterance when Thoth is relieved to heal the harmed eye of Haru by spitting upon it. So
mm,
I think it's in the sixth or the per Imaru. It goes on to read, says,
mm,
I have spit upon the wounds in his body, and I have made myself a path among you. I am the aged one among the gods, and I have made offerings to Osiris. I have defended him in the word of truth, and I have gathered together his bones and have collected all his members.
mm,
So yeah, and then even in the coffin text, well, that's another ancient text, and I believe it's in spell 1113. It says, "Be high that I may approach you. Be high, O you are high. I am one who a peppy detest, since I know how to spit on your wounds." And it says, "For I am the one who spits on wounds which will heal." You know what I'm saying? And
mm,
so then it's like when it comes to this concept, this is one of the things that a lot of people don't know about when it comes to this. Like, there's a problem here, obviously, that this stuff has been going on for a while. They've been playing Mickey Mouse with a whole bunch of people. These religions have been playing Mickey Mouse with people for
mhm.
centuries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
you have to do is just say that this is from the devil.
yeah,
Yeah, that's all you have to say.
yeah,
But man, I'll tell you,
yeah,
it's getting kind of late, man, and I think we can probably do something this Wednesday. Maybe we can jump on here again, and maybe I can go through my other book right here. And this is another book that you all need right here, the Bible
yeah.
Unearthed. Okay, forget that
Yeah.
doggone New World Translation BS, or those
Yeah,
read the reasoning book or whatever books they have out now. This is the book that's going to really open up your mind to what's really going on. The Bible
yeah, yeah,
Unearthed.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
This book right here really goes into talk about the forefathers, Abraham, all those those forefathers everybody know and love. This right here is what everybody needs to have in their library. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So you ever read this book before?
No,
It's,
I
it's
have
by
not read.
it's by a scholar named Israel Finkelstein, and he's
Yeah,
the
no,
director. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I've seen it, but I've not got a chance to get it. I have a different book. It's called man, who wrote? Hold on for a minute. Let me show. I got
Yeah,
it. Let me show it real quick. I got. Hold on. It's one Bart. Shit.
yeah.
What is
Bart
that guy's
Ehrman.
name?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
Bart
deal.
Ehrman.
I fucks with Bart Ehrman. Bart Ehrman is
Yeah.
one of the ones that really goes in depth about Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we link to
Yeah.
mysticism a lot, and
Okay. Yeah. Here it is.
yeah. Yeah,
Got that one.
misquoting Jesus. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Bart Ehrman is a good is a good scholar, man. Like
Yeah.
he's really like he really did open my mind up to a lot of stuff because when you start getting into Comedicism, that's one of the things that kind of like deterred me really from it because you become somewhat like a mythicist. You miss the whole concept.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was
Exactly.
a real person that was named Jesus, or Yeshua, so to say, because the letter J didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
You go back in that time, you start talking about some freaking Jesus. Nobody not gonna know who you talking about. Who you talking about?
Uh huh.
Who's this Jesus that you talking about? You can sit there and see the man that who today that they think is Jesus, but yet still you go up to this person and say, "Oh, hey Jesus," he not gonna know who you talking about. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Exactly.
they're gonna
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
you like you stupid. But
Yeah.
it makes more sense that you have people that are mentioned, but yet still you will not find no archaeological evidence of this individual. But yet still
Hmm.
we know that there was a person that existed that was named that possibly named Yeshua. But the thing about it
Yeah.
is that did he do all these crazy stuff?
Hmm.
Did he walk on water? Did he
Hmm.
could he fly? Could he do all these things?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, I
Once
mean,
you really
the things Jesus did in the Bible is like, as you said, there were many different tales of people doing that stuff. So if he did, he wouldn't have been the only one. You know what I'm saying? Um,
right.
yeah, even I think there's a apocryphal story of a man levitating into heaven, and Peter doggone made him fall out of the sky. There's different stories of stuff doing that stuff. So even if Yeshua or Jesus, I mean, Yeshua in English is actually Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
if there was a
yeah,
Joshua in the ancient Asian minor went around teaching people and healing people, he would not have been the only one. You know what I'm saying? If Jesus was crucified, he would not have been the only one. There's different people that done that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's just, yeah. So it's just
yeah.
sometimes we just think that the Bible is the and sometimes when you look at when you things focus on things in ancient time, you think that's the only thing that's happening in that thing. The world is a big place, man. You know what I'm saying?
It
Even
is.
in America,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you know
Even in Chinese, like what was going on in America during Bible times? The Bible does. You
exactly,
want
yeah,
to tell, you want to keep everything in this one part of the world and think that's where everything's supposed to transpire. What was going on in America?
hmm
The America, the continent of America was still over there. You had the
hmm
Chinese.
yeah,
Their history goes back further. So
hmm
it's like we get placed in this box.
yeah,
We get stuck
exactly,
in this box, whereas we do not really think out. We think that there's nothing else outside the box that's there.
yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
TW said TW said he reading 10 books at a time. That's how I used to be. I read I read hella books at a time, but then after a while I'll be like, man, how am I remember? I don't remember
Yeah,
where it ended or where it began.
yeah, I'm the same way, and that's why like sometimes I get hung up in when I start talking about things because it's like I have so many notes. I have to write down notes a lot of
hmm
times. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get to this
Yeah, yeah,
point, man, it's like okay, where do I start?
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I mean that's why I
yeah,
said, man, we got to do as many. Man,
yeah,
we probably got to do like 5, man, because I just got to select. Okay, what am I going to talk about this one? Because
yeah,
there's a lot
yeah,
of information that I feel as though
yeah,
people need to know that's come out of the Watchtower.
yeah,
Because with me, all that garbage is I've taken that mess out.
yeah,
In
yeah, yeah, yeah.
actuality, when it comes to
Yeah,
the flood,
we do.
yeah,
Yeah, we do a
yeah,
couple of parts, because it's a lot to really break down.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I
I
like
think we.
to
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
No, I'm
I'm
saying I
saying
like to go
we
ahead, man.
we in the traffic jam, man. You better have car
Yeah,
insurance.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, what I was saying was I think we'll talk about the flood. I think I will start there. My deals with the flood. We'll deal with that because a
hmm
lot of times people actually think that a man really got a bunch of animals on a boat that's smaller than I believe the Titanic, ain't it, or something like that? In the Titanic bigger than Noah's Ark? Don't quote me, but it's like
no,
this.
no,
People want
no. The arc would have been bigger.
yeah,
No, the arc would have been bigger.
yeah. Our Ark would have been bigger. Okay, so I
Yeah,
retract that statement. But there's something that there's boats now that's bigger though. I do believe. I think.
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, but my point is that people now they still want to believe that. Now you could believe what you want to believe, but yet and still the
Mhm.
problem is that people want to force this on other people,
Yeah, that's it.
and that's
Yeah,
what that's the
that's where the
issue.
issue
So
comes in.
I
Yeah,
want to talk about Noah's flood next episode that we're on,
yeah,
and we're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
really
We
dig
do it.
into
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah, we do that. And what I like to do, man, because I know some people when we leave the watchtower, we're so passionate about breaking it down, we forget where we come from. I like to speak on the JWs. I think Paul said, "I become all things to all people." So even when I'm trying to break a Jehovah, I try to go into the mindset of if I was a Jehovah and somebody was bringing information to me, what would I be thinking? You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
that's how I try to break things down. That because you hear the same stuff we bring up is not new. Joe Win is going to they have all these conversation stoppers and these refute or these different points that go against their beliefs all the time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But a lot of times when you're in argumentative mode, it does not get through because you're trying to defend it. But if you go into their mind and say, how does the watchtower defend this? And why their defense of that does not stand up to logic, I think a lot of that times that would break things down at plant the seed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to do. Kind of go into. That's why I asked you when you talked about what were you talking about? When I asked you what is the Christian apologist standard? When they talk about the stuff that comes from the Bible that
yeah,
copy, what the Christians, what is their defense of that? You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you
yeah,
go into a person's mind, you can really look and say, if somebody told that to me when I was indoctrinated, What about response? But why that response does not stand up to logic? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why I responded, like how I did, because that response I gave you was the exact response that an ex Jehovah Witness who's now is a Christian apologist gave to me. He said
Mm-hmm.
that, well, when they were in captivity, then they copied their language, their illustrative language.
Yeah.
So that's what he said. Which kind of sounds okay. You want to ride with that, yeah. But then too, okay, think for a second. It's one language is one thing, but titles is another.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Language is one thing, but titles mean a
Yeah.
lot. The way you
Exactly.
describe things. If I tell
Mm-hmm.
you, Jamar, that we got a freaking that we had a tree called a tree of life in our backyard. You know what I'm saying? We have a
Yeah.
tree of life in our backyard. And then we have somebody else that has a tree of life that they call a tree of
Hmm.
life. Somebody lived before us. They had a tree of life, and you see that they were here longer. Then okay, we just don't think about that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It had to come from
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere. You know what I'm
Yeah. It had to.
saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it had to come somewhere.
Exactly.
So we could try
But
to shoot
and
for. Yeah, go ahead.
we're trying to shoot for Wednesday. I'm off. Yeah, I'm off Wednesday. So we'll do try to shoot for Wednesday. But also when you think about syncretism, this is one thing too. Also helped me when I was witness. It didn't help me, but I used to always write into God. You remember the watch? I used to have questions for readers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to write questions in. I'm thinking, okay, the Watchtower is getting these questions from readers, but I realized no, the Watchtower not getting questions. Watchtower is getting people that's in the hall that asking these questions. But
Yeah.
anyway, I sent in a letter. I sent in a letter to the Watchtower and asked them how are they doing incense in the temple when that came from an ancient pagan practice? How did
Mm.
God approve of that? You know what I'm saying? I sent that question in. And they referred me. They said, if you have any questions, you go to the Watchtower. And I'm like, okay, but I asked you guys because
Yeah, I want
we
that
don't
service
celebrate
too.
Christmas. Yeah, we don't celebrate Christmas because it came from paganism. But I'm reading a lot of stuff in the Bible that's coming back in the incense, the
Uh huh.
Sabbath. Did you know that the Sabbath, if you translate that in English, is Saturn? Because back in
Yeah.
the day, the days were based on the planets or the
Yep.
five. You know what I'm saying? So each day was based on a planet, and the last day was the sun,
Yeah.
the sun and the moon. You know what I'm saying? So Sunday month is the sun and the moon, but the other five was the five planets that we can see from the Earth. So when you look at Saturn, why would the Jews, why would God set a day apart that was based on a pagan holiday that was dedicated to Saturn? You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? So,
Yeah.
you look at the Bible, look at these things, you ask the Watchtower these things, and they'll send you a generic answer. You know what I'm saying? But they,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, go to us for the information. Don't go to the scholar and anything else. Go to us. But when I go to you guys, it's wait on Jehovah, or
Yep.
you give me some kind of janky answer. You know what I'm saying?
I once
So,
debated a JW one time about the days of the week, right? And I was
huh?
just kind of playing. I was trolling a little bit. I was like, our days of the week are named after Greek
Back on.
gods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they're named after. Even the day, you know what I'm saying? You got, the sun got Thor's day. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Woden's day. Our days of the week are named after Greek gods. And so then
Uh-huh.
that's when I said, so they got a little upset. They was like, well, when we get in a new system, our days are going to be renamed.
Oh my God.
That's what they
Yeah.
said. You know what I'm saying? I just like
Well, I
hearing
mean,
their answer.
but rename to what? Because the Bible never even give them names. They just say the first, second, third, fourth, fifth day. The only day the only day in the Bible that was named was Saturday. Was Sabbath. That's the only day. Every other day was not having no name to it. But what day is it
Man,
gonna be renamed to? You know what I'm saying?
man, let me throw something in this video real quick, man. When it comes to the whole entire process about the way the Bible was set up, where it talks about the creation story, we miss something as Jehovah Witnesses. Okay, it says that God. When did God say that? When was light established?
First day, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to pull it up real quick because this is something that needs to
Yeah.
be said. But or
Yeah. I
you
think the
want to say
first
that
thing
for the?
God did was light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said but okay. So then he said that he created light, but when did he create the sun and the moon?
Well, according to the Joe Witness, I'm gonna give you Joe Witness. I'm gonna give Joe Witness answer.
Go ahead.
He created the sun and the moon and universe when it says God created the heavens and the earth. He created all that in there. And if you look at the that blue, you remember that blue book, How Did We Get Here? Evolution
Uh,
Creation.
yeah, I think so.
It, How We Get Here? Evolution Creation. That book. It was a book they had. How We Get Here, but and they kind of broke it down that basically I know what you get into. I'll let you finish. But the apologist, the answer they gave was that he created the sun, all the stuff in Genesis 1:1. We say created the heavens and the earth. In Genesis 4, when it says the sun and stuff appeared in the sky, that's because God removed the cloud mass. God removed the cloud mass in the sky, so now you can see the. So now you can see them. That's what it was talking about. Genesis 1:4 was talking about the cloud mass. So now you can see them. You couldn't see them at first. Yeah, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah,
That's what they said.
yeah. But okay, it says in the beginning God created the universes. The earth was formed and desolate, and a raging ocean that covered everything was engulfed in the total dark. The spirit of God was moving over the water, and then God commanded let there be light, and the light appeared, and God was pleased with what he saw, and then he separated light from the darkness and named the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and morning came. That was the first day.
Yeah.
So I mean, my thing is, man, and then let's see, when did he create the sun? You know when it was the sun was created later on, what was it not?
Well, no, according to Watchtower, no, the Watchtower believes the sun was created in Genesis 1:1. They believe it was created in Genesis 1:1. That's what they
Yeah,
believe.
so they
I
go
mean, if
down. It says yeah. Then go down. It says then God commanded let the sky to separate the day and night and show the time when days of the year religious festivals begin, and they will shine in the sky and give light to the earth and all this. And then I do know that later on it starts saying that that's when he created at some point. So I mean, my thing is like, okay, what was lighting up before then? You know what I'm
yeah, well, no,
saying?
what they say,
When he
yeah, no,
created,
what they're saying, no, what they were saying is that what was lighting up is the radiation from the sun, but it was a cloud mass in the sky. I'm just going by what the Let me see. I think I
nah,
got
you
that book,
good,
man. Let me
man.
see. Yeah, yeah. No, I think because I read that whole thing. I'm like, yeah, it made sense to me when I read it. But the more, oh, okay, here it is, right here. This one, this right here, man.
Mm-hmm.
They explained that in there, and it made sense. But yeah, what you're saying is yeah, the Bible when the Bible speaks of that, and they tried to reinterpret what the Bible writer is writing. When the Bible writer said day, they was talking about a day. They were not talking about the eons. You can try and reinterpret
Yeah.
what they meant by day. The Bible writers meant a day, man. They wouldn't say it no doggone day if they meant eons. Yeah, it's on page
Yeah.
what they do page I think 27 27 on there. I think you see that. But they go through the days and what they're saying is that basically the fourth day it was some kind of cloud mass in the sky that blocked out the sun. So you couldn't see the sun or the moon. What
Uh
you could
huh.
see is the light coming through the cloud mass. And some way Jehovah removed that cloud mass on the fourth day. You can actually see the sun now.
Yeah.
That's what they're
But you
saying.
see,
Yeah,
they when people try to make sense of this stuff, man, they dig a hole for themselves, because
yeah,
verse 17 says he placed the light in the sky to shine on the earth, and to
uh-huh,
rule over the day and the night, to separate
yeah,
light from darkness. But yet and still,
yeah,
what the world was did the light come from to begin with, man?
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah, yeah. So I
yeah,
mean, it's like there are two different things going on in this in the Bible. So it's kind of like it's pretty much evident that you have
mm-hmm,
different people
yeah,
playing a part in
mm-hmm,
that text. There's different people that's writing. It ain't written by the same person.
mm-hmm.
You know
Exactly,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
don't, but
exactly, yeah,
man, next video, man, we're gonna deal into we're gonna get up into probably Noah's flood and everything like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yes, that's what we're gonna get into it. Then maybe we'll just go from there, because I at least want to do at least about five, man. We could just do this thing, until I get it, till
yeah,
I get a little half of what I know out. But yeah, but I'm gonna get, I'm gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about Noah's flood and why that is scientifically illogical for that to happen. You know what I'm saying? But there
yeah,
is a reason as to why, and what you can take from it too, because there's a lot of things that you can know. I describe myself as an omnist, and basically what an omnist is that what omnism is that you find truth in all religions. You just don't
mm-hmm,
assign truth just to one. Some
yeah,
people are omnists, man, and they don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is that when it comes to various stories of the Bible, like you just take them, say okay, it happened, but you don't take that stuff as literal. Like somebody sitting up there getting swallowed up by a whale and later on spit out. Whales can't
Mm.
even swallow human beings to begin with because their esophagus is the size of a beach ball.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
there's a meaning behind these stories. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So we can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
Noah's flood. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Next video. And everything like that. So
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That'd be good, man. Yeah. Yeah. We'll get into it, man. We're gonna break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all
All
right
right,
then,
man.
man.
Yeah.
I'll be in
Good
touch
talking to
with
you,
you.
but
All
yeah.
right.
All right. All right. See you. All right, man. I want to thank all y'all for staying tuned, man. All y'all staying tuned, watching this, man. You know what I'm saying? We didn't get to the comments. I tried to get to some of it. Claudia Joy, thank you for coming in, man. You was really interactive. I appreciate that. Even though I can't get the comment, man, I really appreciate y'all commenting, man. It shows that y'all really in tune with it. TW, man, appreciate you, man. Cooking with Curly, Sporlock. Let me see. Who else? Yep. Yeah, yeah. Sporlock say you don't ask the follow question. Yeah, you don't ask the follow question, man. That's putting the nail in your coffin, man. Once you ask the elder one question, they give you answer. That's it, man. You don't go, because they gonna look back at you like, I don't know if y'all seen what's love got to do, and look back at you like I turn and look at Tina when she questioned them. You know what I'm saying? That question they give you, that's supposed to be the answer, man. Once I read a couple of emojis and then we're gonna be out. Yeah, man. And I mean, we might talk about the Bible, and I hope that don't turn none of you Christians off. You know what I'm saying? The Bible, I still read the Bible, man. I still read it with my kids and things like that. I just don't believe it inspired word, but I still do believe it has good pointers. The book of Proverbs has a lot of wisdom in there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things, you know what I'm saying, and human nature in there. So I still look at certain parts in there, and I can still make application today. You know what I'm saying? So so I hope that none of that turns you Christians off anything else. You know what I'm saying? But we just got to get to the truth of the matter, man. But anyway, man, I thank y'all for tuning in, man. I'm about to be out. Y'all have y'all good night.